am making organic sugar that we use for waxing. So this is the same as any wax that people would use in the store, except that we make it in-house so that it's all natural and organic and vegan and gluten-free, which is something that really appeals to our customers. And while I am making up this brew, I am thinking about the Groupon that we just ran for Brazilians. And let me tell you, I was not thinking clearly when I decided to organize a Groupon for Brazilians, because I didn't understand that that meant that I'm going to be seeing a parade of women coming through here and showing me their vajayjays, and which is not necessarily a problem for me, but when you have 5 Brazilians booked in one day, it tends to be kind of like, you know, you desensitize to a point where you don't even want to look at your own, or you know, you're done with anything to do with the underneath, you know, the waist down.
Shouldn't that make you like an expert now?
I am a bit of a, you know, I thought, you know, that all, you know, women's stuff were built somewhat equally, but I have to say that they're not. And I thought that, you know, etiquette would be kind of clear. Like I didn't think that when I had a customer, I had to kind of lay it out as to what would be the standards in which you would come in and get a Brazilian. But I think that we need to lay that out today. And one thing that would be kind of nice is if people, you know, wash beforehand. Now, I understand that we all have busy lives, and sometimes we can't make it here right first thing in the morning after we've had our morning shower, right? Like, but it would be nice if you could even just ask me for a cloth. You know, I'll happily give it to you, and you can just do a little, you know, a little wash up down there so that it's not a little more presentable. We also have a washroom here, and you know, sometimes people come in a little bit early. I know I have done that for my Brazilians, has gone a little bit early and freshened up before having it done, and that again doesn't seem to be common courtesy in that. So the other thing that I'm kind of frustrated to see is sometimes you get these calls from people canceling at last minute, and because they've had their period, and that makes sense. You know, you call, you apologize, and you just say, you know what, didn't understand that this was going to happen, and this is what happened, right? But occasionally I have had women come in with their period, and that's not cool, people. Okay, nobody should do that. Nobody needs to know that. It's bad enough that we're all the way up in your business, but we don't need to see the tampon in there as well. Okay, and usually, unfortunately, this is what happens, is that we kind of do the top part and then we move down to the lower part, and that's when we notice that there's something there, and that's not. And then at that point, you're kind of halfway through, so it's not really fun to have to say, hey, by the way, this isn't working for me, and this is not clean. I'm not really sure what the Fraser health policies are on that, but I'm pretty sure that they would frown upon people coming in with their periods. Another thing that's really nice, I had a customer do this, which was very sweet of her, is she called me ahead of time, and she let me know that she had a piercing down there, so that I wouldn't be totally freaked out when I saw that. I thought that was very polite, so thank you for that. Whoever you are, we won't disclose that. That can help me out. Is that for me, a Brazilian is like, you know, your area, right, and then up the bottom. Now, if you have a huge hairy ass or you have huge hairy thighs, I'm not sure if that's included in the price of the Brazilian. So I'm gonna have to negotiate that to see where you go. If there should be a square footage thing.
Square footage. Well, what? Hold on. Thigh. Isn't that a leg?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Thigh could be
yeah.
leg,
as soon as you pass the bikini crease, you're onto leg.
Yes.
Oh, actually, yeah. You know what? You're gonna have to come up with a measurement on that. I have something to tell you that I don't know if I want to tell you, but
I'm intrigued.
Of course you would be. I've never had a Brazilian, so I'm only guesstimate. Like, maybe you should outline exactly where the Brazilian is supposed to cover? What is the outlined Brazilian coverage supposed to be?
Basically, a bikini just cleans you up. So you kind of clean up the sides, and so if you were going to put on a bikini or a bathing suit, then you wouldn't have that really awful like the guys have the hair coming out of their chest, like you wouldn't have that coming out of the bottom there, right? So you don't want that when you're on vacation. Brazilian is basically all gone, everything. Like you look like a little girl down there.
What? Hold on.
Completely gone.
No landing strip or anything?
Well, some people like the landing strip, right? That's another thing you need to come prepared with answering those questions. Like, do you want like a little strip? Do you want like a square? I don't really do hearts or anything like that, but
What about triangle? Like what's the standard shape?
Standard would be just a little kind of square above.
Okay.
Yeah, that's standard. And
Not rectangle?
Some people want a little bit more of a rectangle. Not often. Most women, I have to say, prefer just to have it all done. Now, I'm not personally comfortable with that because, I have a daughter. So when my husband is looking at my stuff, I don't want him being like, oh yeah, that's like a bigger size of my daughter's, stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's not sexy to me. I feel like there should be something, expression of a womanhood in there. But that's just me. Other people just prefer a clean slate, like back in the day. That's where they want to go.
Back in the day, recapture their youth.
Well, see, that's the thing is that I don't remember being really good in bed in my youth. Like when you first start doing these things in bed, you're not that good at it. So why would you want to recapture that? I think I only got good later in life. Right? So you kind of want to own the womanhood.
Wow. Okay. So wow. So when you do a Brazilian, wow, you really are like
I'm up in your business.
up. Oh my goodness gracious.
Big time up in your business.
Like, is there some kind of like a sticky pad that you can cover the?
See, it's kind of like one of those check your dignity at the door things.
Wow.
Because I have some ladies come in and they're like, oh, can I wear an underwear? But then I'm just like pulling the underwear and trying to wax, and I only have so many hands, people. We were gonna thread you.
Oh, you can't thread me. You just threaded me yesterday.
It'd be like dry threading.
Ew. Is that like dry humping? No, dry humping's good. Dry threading would be bad.
Yeah. So we can't thread you again because we've already.
If you want to dry hump me, I might consider that. But
dry hump in the background. That's I don't know if there's sexual harassment suits that could be filed with us, and our makeout sessions in the back room. Like, I'm not sure if there's a problem with that.
Well, I think if you have two willing participants, it's okay, maybe.
It's okay, right?
Maybe.
So, yeah. So that probably would do good, like spray, Densuelo making out in the back room, like, which is like how we start our morning every time. This is how we start. This is, we hire customers, but we feel each other up. Right?
Well, you gotta kick it up a notch, right? If everybody gets a hug, well, then it's only fair that I should get something a little
special, right? Like it's like an employee benefit. Like if you go to a store and then they give everybody 10% off, the employee should get more than that. Right?
That's right.
So my customers get first base. What's first base? Kissing? No, I don't even know what the bases are.
I think it's like a grab, like a boob grab, a fondling or something. I don't know.
I don't even know the bases. First, guys all know the bases, right?
Yeah.
Guys know the bases. So most of my customers get halfway between first, like halfway to first. That would be hug, right? So the full way to first would be making out.
But then what if they get a Brazilian? Doesn't that like...
Yeah,
what's
I'm
that?
not kissing anybody that's
No, but you've hugged them and you've touched their vagina. I think that.
Well, you know what the thing is that after I've touched your vagina, I really think that I should give you a hug. Like I feel like we've crossed some sort of boundary of like woman kind of hood, and we've gone that war of like going that pain and pressure and awkwardness, we've got through that. And I feel like at the end of a Brazilian, somebody deserves a hug. Like, don't you feel like that would be appropriate?
Absolutely. Hug, I think that's very humanitarian of you.
It's like if I can't hug you after I've been in there, waxing you up, hopefully making you look good for your significant other, when can I hug you? I think that it's just completely appropriate.
Hell yeah.
to end the Brazilian with a hug. Now we do all this stuff and massages, pedicures, makeup applications, and pretty much any other service we do here with a hug too. So I'm not really sure where the line is on that. So this is what the wax kind of looks like when we are done cooking it.